budget session begins with deficit proposal. Giant Hills Autonomous District Council refers Ilaka and Village Amendment Bill 2026 Amendment Bill to Select Committee. Internet restored in Garo Hills after 9-day shutdown, bringing relief to residents and businesses. Rajya Sabha bid farewell to 59 members from 20 states, including 9 women. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses grief over Delhi and Indore fire tragedies. The news in detail, and first the local news. The 3-day budget session of the Giant Hills Autonomous District Council, or the JHADC, commenced today with Chief Executive Member Thombor Shiwat presenting a deficit budget of 15.62 crore rupees for the financial year 2026-2027. CEM Shiwat informed the House that the proposed budget estimates receipts of 293.64 crore rupees against expenditures of 309.26 crore rupees, resulting in the deficit. He attributed the shortfall to unavoidable expenses such as employee pay increments, pensions and departmental strengthening. Highlighting achievements, Shiwat noted the completion of annual accounts up to 2024-25, clearance of arrear revised pay and pensions, introduction of pension books, inauguration of the Taxation Department office at Clariat, and implementation of 48 developmental schemes under various grants. On legislation, he mentioned progress on drafting district fund rules, digitalization of forest areas, a new 5-year forest working scheme, and re-examination of service rules. Concluding, Shiwat described the budget as a roadmap for progress and prosperity and sought cooperation from members for its successful implementation. The House adjourned with general discussion on the budget scheduled for tomorrow.
I would like to inform that the drafting of the district fund rules of Giant Hills Autonomous District Council is completed, and hopefully it can be placed in the summer session to be held in the month of July after getting the prior approval of the governor. Digitalization of all forest land areas under the jurisdiction of the district council. Forest new working scheme for 5 years will effect from 2026 to 2027. The Giant Hills Autonomous District Service Rule 1981 is under process of re-examination. In conclusion, on behalf of the Executive Committee, I would like to say that this project is not just a financial statement, but a roadmap for progress and prosperity. So I therefore request all the honorable members of this House for their cooperation and support in implementing this project successfully for the benefit of our people. This Executive Committee also expressed its desire to have a close and cordial relation with the government in all spheres of activities, in implementation of our programs and policies in the right direction for the development and prosperity of the people of Giant Hills.
The Giant Hills Autonomous District Council today unanimously resolved to refer the Ilaka and Village Amendment Bill 2026 to a select committee for further examination. Introduced by Chief Executive Member Thombor Shiwat, the bill seeks to amend provisions governing the roles and powers of traditional leaders, including the Doloi, Sirdar and Wahechnong. A key proposal involves sharing election costs between the Dorbar Ilaka and the District Council. Members from both ruling and opposition parties supported the move, stressing the need for detailed scrutiny, particularly regarding amendments to Section 4 on the election process of Doloi and Sirdar.
For the information of all honorable members of the Upper House, I would like to inform that the drafting of the district fund rule of JHADC is completed, and hopefully it can be placed in the summer session to be held in the month of July after getting the prior approval of the governor. Digitalization of all forest land areas under the jurisdiction of the district council. Forest new working scheme for 5 years will effect from 2026 to 2027. The JHADC Autonomous District Service Rule 1981 is in the process of re-examination. In conclusion, on behalf of the Executive Committee, I would like to say that this project is not just a financial statement, but a roadmap for progress and prosperity. So I therefore request all the honorable members of this House for their cooperation and support in implementing this project successfully for the benefit of our people.
After 9 days of suspension, internet services have finally been restored in Garo Hills, bringing relief to residents and businesses affected by the prolonged shutdown. Meghalaya Pradesh Congress Committee Working President Deborah C. Marak said sustained pressure from various quarters, including the Congress, led to the restoration. She stressed that in today's digital age, internet is a necessity, not a luxury, and the disruption caused widespread hardship across society. Marak also clarified that former Pulbari MLA SG Esmatur Mominin is no longer part of the Congress and has not been given a ticket for the JHADC elections.
Mainly, we all know, today students are enabled to access online classes. How much it affects them? Study materials, examination updates, putting their education at risk. Health services and emergency communication, its effect, all of them. Putting lives at risk, those who are sick in the hospital, those who really need urgent doctor attention. These are very much concern to the Congress party. That is why we are here, and we wanted to put a message across Garo Hills. However, extending internet shutdown for more than a week is excessive and raises serious question about governance and decision making. From the party side, from Congress party, we strongly today urge upon the government to restore the internet. The continuation of suspension unjustified, affecting the innocent people. That's why I think it is high time for the government to restore the internet.
Meghalaya Congress Working President Deborah C. Marak on Wednesday expressed surprise and disappointment over Assam Congress MP Pradyut Bordoloi leaving the party to join the BJP. Marak described Bordoloi as a senior leader and close associate, calling his departure unfortunate for the party. She said she never expected him to quit, adding that she felt upset after watching his interview where he cited reasons for his decision. Marak, however, declined to comment on the leadership of Gaurav Gogoi.
He's very senior leader. I know him very well, and good friend. Is a good friend of mine. It is very unfortunate, and also I never expect he will leave the party. He has given many reasons. I have seen his interview last night. I was feeling so upset, Since morning, my mood also is very bad mood of. That's a good friend, senior Congress leader going away from Congress and join BJP.
Don Bosco High Secondary School, Birnihat, marked its Golden Jubilee celebration today, commemorating 50 years since its establishment in 1977. The event also included the inauguration of the school's annual sports meet. Minister for Community and Rural Development and Jirang MLA Sosthenes Sotun unfurled the school flag and lit the ceremonial lamp to declare the celebrations open. In his address, Sotun expressed gratitude to the school's founders for their vision and dedication and hoped the institution would continue to provide quality education and produce accomplished individuals in the years ahead.
Looking back to 50 years, maybe at the time at a very simple school, be it the LP school, nursery, which the school institution have gone through. And looking back, we have to remember the sacrifices and the contribution that all the people who have joined the contribute or lending support to this great institution, Don Bosco Higher Secondary School, touching the 50 years Golden Jubilee. It's not only looking back for the 50 years, but also with the aim of looking ahead for the improvement of education for all the students who are coming to study here in the Don Bosco Higher Secondary School.
Deputy Commissioner of Ri-Bhoi District Abhilash Baranwal has urged residents to remain cautious following a severe windstorm that struck the district, affecting 147 villages and damaging more than 1,000 households. The storm, accompanied by heavy rain, disrupted electricity supply, damaging 132 kV power lines at Birnihat and Umyam and a 33 kV line at Nongpok. The DC has directed the Power Department to expedite restoration work. Relief materials including rice, blankets and other essentials have already been dispatched to affected families. Block development officers have been instructed to assess damages and ensure assistance reaches all households.
As per the latest report that we have received from the video so far, a total number of 147 number of villages have been affected. More than 1,000 houses, 1,028 houses to be exact as of now, have suffered damages of various extents. Some houses have been fully damaged also, and some houses have received partial damage. Simultaneously, as far as the utilities are concerned, there was one landslide, small landslide on the Umling Patharkama road that has already been cleared, so that road has been restored. As far as electrical lines are concerned, that have suffered maximum amount of damage also. So, for example, near Umyam there has been some severe disruption. Birnihat also there has been disruption in the 132 kV lines, and simultaneously, as far as Nongpo is concerned, the 33 kV line is still yet to be restored. However, we are closely coordinating with the MEPDCL also to ensure that all these lines are restored as soon as possible. As far as relief measures are concerned, after the meeting that we had with the BDOs today, we had instructed our BDOs that they will be going to all the to as many villages as possible to assess the impact, to to connect, to basically reach out to all the people who have received the brunt, whose houses have been affected in the yesterday's storm. We have also disbursed dry ration and tarpaulin sheets in form of immediate relief to all these households, because collection of bank accounts and assessment of damage and then ultimate disbursal of the relief amount, which is basically the relief amount in terms of monetary compensation, that will take some time. But for immediate relief, we have disbursed dry ration through our FPS centers, as well as we have also disbursed tarpaulin sheets and blankets.
As part of World Tuberculosis Day observance, under the miking campaign was carried out at Yao Musiang and Yao Pik Tuberculosis Center, urged citizens to seek early medical advice and treat TB patients with dignity. An unidentified male aged approximately 35 to 40 years and suspected to be a non-tribal was discovered dead at a betel nut farm in Twai Langtuk, Donaskur village, about 1.5 kilometers from NH6. Authorities conducted an inquest at the scene in the presence of witnesses. Following legal formalities, the body was sent to Civil Hospital Clariat for post-mortem examination. It is currently kept at the hospital morgue, awaiting identification and claiming. The Federation of Khasi Jaintia and Garo people, Southwest Khasi Hills District, visited Maubidong village today to support the family of Mrs. Rosinabels Emle, a mother of 7 who recently lost her home to a fire. Led by President Kenneth June L. Nonglat, the Federation donated money, clothes and household materials to the family. The program was attended by village headman Tanlumbor K. Karai and other local leaders. Nonglat urged the district administration to release relief funds promptly to assist the family in rebuilding their lives.
Tika penlong yang menginuan mata sengi ban sengolem ban ai jing arab nam tajun kalong ying oj wat laki deki dak ki warit andre tang ban ya don ketilang bak ni kalong ying namang la te bak kalong ying bukan thei ka ba khun ru ila bon hadu nyungut tinak liang yung seng ni sengi rengkat menteri senong yung ni senong bidong ya don rekar ni sengi ban ai ni jing arab ban no seniang nam tajun ka long ying long sem tingit ba nakaliang jong ki bor badai kmi habia dei ba ka long ying nakaliang jong snong kila pendep ya ki kamram ba ki dei ban pentip si ki bor badai pe tingi kermen ba ka jing yaram kan long no kam kloi namar ba kum kini ki jing jia ki ba la jia kam ki dei kam coba kerki te nakaliang jong seng ki kerpat ba ki lat jing yaram ki dibantu cikini ka long yeng bat ki wei pat ki kan hun seng bahlang ki bodon hakini ka distrik ka jongi lani kino ki wei pat ki ba don ka mensim ban yarap na ka banta jong kini ka long yeng tina kaliang yo seng i phai kini ka message ba sobha ban wan ban jingo e kini ka long yeng namar ngi wan ban pe dari jong ki khmat kat long i ba ka jingdu jong ni ka long yeng kala long sya ka jingdu ka ba kraw.
The Jaintia National Council, or the JNC, Jalaphet Circle, today conducted an inspection of the designated site for the construction of the long-awaited government college at Jalaphet Bri Sumer. Led by Circle President Andi Bare, the council noted that groundwork and initial construction activities have already begun, marking a significant step towards fulfilling the region's educational aspirations. The JNC expressed appreciation to the MDA-2, government and local MLA Santa Mary Shilla for their efforts in advancing the project. The council urged the contractor to maintain high standards and ensure timely completion. Let's move on to the stories from the Northeast. The Aam Aadmi Party, or the AAP, today announced its second list of candidates for the upcoming Assam Assembly elections. The party, which is seeking to expand its presence in the Northeast, has fielded candidates across multiple constituencies as part of its strategy to challenge established political players in the state. With this release, AAP continues to build momentum ahead of the polls, positioning itself as an alternative voice in Assam's political landscape. The party had earlier unveiled its first list of candidates, marking its entry into the electoral fray in the state. Moving on to the national stories. The Rajya Sabha today bid farewell to 59 members from 20 states, including 9 women. Prime Minister Narendra Modi praised their contributions to parliamentary democracy, noting that their experience and service will remain valuable beyond their tenure. He emphasized that in politics, there is never a full stop, as the wisdom of retiring members continues to guide the nation. He also highlighted the emotional nature of such occasions, which occur every 2 years, and expressed respect for colleagues moving forward with new responsibilities.
ओपिनियन एक सदन में कुछ निर्णय होता है, दूसरे सदन में फिर आता है सेकंड ओपिनियन के लिए। अगर इस सदन में होता है तो उस सदन में जाता है सेकंड ओपिनियन के लिए। और ये सेकंड ओपिनियन उस सारी बहस को, उस सारे निर्णय प्रक्रिया को एक बहुत बड़ा नया आयाम दे देती है। और वो मैं समझता हूं कि हमारी निर्णय प्रक्रिया को समृद्ध करती है। तो इसलिए सदन में जो माननीय सांसद बैठते हैं, उनके लिए एक खुलापन रहता है कि भाई चलो इस सदन में नहीं तो उस सदन में एक अच्छा ओपिनियन नया आएगा, उस सदन में नहीं तो इस सदन में एक नया ओपिनियन आएगा। तो ये सेकंड ओपिनियन ये हमारे लोकतंत्र में एक बहुत बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन है, जो जिस विरासत को हमें संभालना हमारे जो माननीय सांसद विदाई ले रहे हैं, उनका तो योगदान रहा ही है। और इसके लिए भी मैं उनका साधुवाद करता हूं। आदरणीय सभापति जी, जो हमारे माननीय सांसद विदाई ले रहे हैं, बहुत आने वाले दिनों में तो शायद ये अवसर रहने वाला ही नहीं है, लेकिन ये माननीय सांसद ऐसे हैं कि जिनको पुराने संसद के भवन में भी बैठने का मौका मिला और नए संसद भवन में भी बैठने का मौका मिला। उनको
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed deep sorrow over the fire mishaps in Palam, Delhi and Indore. Extending condolences to the families of the deceased, he prayed for the speedy recovery of the injured. The Prime Minister announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees from the Prime Minister's National Relief Fund for the next of kin of each deceased and rupees 50,000 for those injured in both accidents. He described the loss of lives as tragic and assured support to the affected families. Now let's have a look at the international stories. US President Donald Trump said the ongoing conflict involving the US, Israel and Iran is proceeding very well, stressing that Iran must not be allowed to develop nuclear weapons. He claimed Iran would have used it very gladly and praised U.S. actions, saying, "We did a good job." Trump further alleged Iran's involvement in severe injuries and destruction, stating there is a 95% chance it came right out of Iran. His remarks underscore Washington's continued hardline stance against Tehran amid escalating tensions in the region.
Get rid of him very gladly, very happily, and you sort of see that by the fact that they were sending missiles, ballistic missiles, powerful missiles, to all of their neighbors, and for the most part, they were supposed to be somewhat friendly with their neighbors. They were going to blow the hell out of them, and that was going to be the Middle East, between Israel, the Middle East, and Europe would have been there, and we would have been there. There would have been no stopping, and we did a good job, and a lot of people appreciate it. A lot of presidents know they should have done it. It was 47 years of terror. Every time you see somebody with no legs, no arms, a face that's been really so badly damaged, so badly hurt, lives destroyed, 95% chance it came right out of Iran. They loved that bomb. They loved that bomb. And the father of that was, as you know, Soleimani, General Soleimani. And we got rid of him in my first term. And if we didn't get rid of him, I think it might have been a different story, because he was a bad guy, but he was a brilliant guy if you like to fight dirty. And he fought as dirty as you can. So we've done something that a lot of people said that other people should have done long before I got here. But it's my honor to do it. And we've had a very big day today. We knocked out things that nobody thought were possible to knock out. Today was a very big day already.
Tensions in West Asia have sharply escalated following the killing of Iran's security chief Ali Larijani. Iran has retaliated with missile and drone strikes targeting Israel and U.S. interests. While Israel's operations in Lebanon have displaced over 1 million people, the United Nations has voiced serious humanitarian concerns over the growing crisis. Meanwhile, India is actively engaging with UAE leadership to safeguard its 10 million strong diasporas in the region amid the volatile situation.
Particularly in this time of conflict, number one is the safety of all Indians who are residing, working, studying in Prime Minister Modi and Sheikh Al Nahyan of the UAE. Now, UAE is where most of this diaspora that I'm talking about resides. Some over 4 million of them reside in the UAE. So their safety is absolutely a key priority, and therefore the conversation engagement at the leadership level does ensure that the facilities, the safety initiatives are extended to all Indians in the region.
And coming up are the sports news. The Orleans Masters badminton tournament has kicked off in France, drawing top shuttlers from around the world. The event, part of the BWF World Tour, features intense competition across singles and doubles categories. Players from India, Indonesia, China and several European nations are participating, with early rounds already showcasing thrilling matches. The tournament is expected to play a key role in shaping rankings and preparations ahead of upcoming major championships. Now for the weather report. First, let's take a look at the weather report in Tura. The minimum temperature was recorded at 19 degrees Celsius and the maximum temperature 27 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity 71%. Moving on to Shillong, the minimum temperature 14 degrees Celsius and the maximum temperature 22 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity 66%. Meanwhile, in Juwai, the minimum temperature 13 degrees Celsius and the maximum temperature 21 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity is 78%. And the forecast in Tura, Shillong and Juwai says generally cloudy sky with moderate rain at many places. And now, before we end the news, the headlines once again. Giant Hills Autonomous District Council 3 days budget session begins with deficit proposal. Giant Hills Autonomous District Council refers Ilaka and Village Amendment Bill 2026 Amendment Bill to Select Committee. Internet restored in Garo Hills after 9-day shutdown, bringing relief to residents and businesses. Rajya Sabha bid farewell to 59 members from 20 states, including 9 women. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses grief over Delhi and Indore fire tragedies. Well, viewers, with that, we have come to the end of the news. Until we meet again tomorrow at the same time, same channel. Thank you for watching and good night.